Thank you, Eagle Scout Pete Sessions. I'm very honored to be standing with you today, the co-chair of the Scout Caucus, along with Eagle Scout Jim Cooper from Tennessee. Those of us, and there are in fact 33 Eagle Scouts, 23 from the House of Representatives and 10 from the Senate, currently serving in the United States Congress. But just as importantly, there's 150 members of Congress who experienced scouting, whether as a youth and perhaps in the case of 33 progressing to the rank of Eagle Scout, or currently, as myself does, serving as an adult Scout leader. Scouting is important to many of us growing up, and I think when a lot of us look back on our lives and say, what was one of the larger impacts we had? I can tell you in my case it was scouting. And the same is true for my 24-year-old Eagle Scout son. My son and I can't tell you how many different camping trips we enjoyed together. What a great bonding experience for a father and a son coming right up through Cub Scouts. So for all of those Scouts today, as Eagle Scout Pete Sessions indicated, are currently involved in Cub Scouts, in Boy Scouts, and Explorers, Scouting is changing their lives, and it's changing their lives for the better. We've all heard the 12 points of the Scout Law. That is a compass for the youth of America today when they're faced with tough decisions to look at those 12 points and remind themselves that a Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Those 12 points of the Scout Law are a compass for them to live their life and make the right decisions. Many cases I refer to the first 3 words of the Scout Oath, and we can't talk about them enough. Those first 3 words, on my honor. That is so important today for our youth to have a compass, understand what honor is, and Scouting introduces them to that. But I'll also tell you what Scouting is. It's young men, young boys having fun, outdoors. Some say today the problem with youth in America is they have and they suffer from nature deficit disorder. They don't get outside enough. They don't know how to play outdoors. They're stuck with their electronic devices. Well, Scouting gets the youth of America outside. It's healthy. They get to enjoy themselves, learn all kinds of skills, but just the friendships that they get within Scouting that over a lifetime will help them as they become the future leaders of America. There are a disproportionate number of leaders in America today who were Scouts and, in fact, Eagle Scouts. Today, in President Trump's cabinet, we are honored as a country to have 4 Eagle Scouts. Eagle Scout Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State. Eagle Scout Rick Perry, Secretary of Energy. Eagle Scout Jeff Sessions, our current Attorney General. And Eagle Scout Ryan Zinke, our Secretary of the Interior. Scouting, I would tell you, in most of their cases, they would identify Scouting as a major part of them growing up, and maybe they didn't know it at the time, but giving them the life skills that have served them to the point today they are serving our nation. We have 27 members in the bipartisan Scout Caucus. Many, but not all, are Eagle Scouts. I think all of us are proud to talk about our past as an Eagle Scout, but we also remind people to this day we are Eagle Scouts. Once a year, our Chief Scout Executive, Mike Serbaugh, comes to Washington, D.C. to present a report on the status of Scouting in the nation today. Reception for our Chief Scout Executive once a year to welcome him and Scouts from around the country as they present to us the status of Scouting in America today. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the last 4 presidents of the Boy Scouts of America. Our current president, Randall Stevenson, is the current CEO of AT&T. He followed Bob Gates, who was our Secretary of Defense, Wayne Perry, the Vice Chairman of AT&T, and our own Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, when he was CEO of Exxon, was the President of the Boy Scouts of America. So I think all of us today understand the importance of Scouting in our lives, and in many cases, just reflect back on the fun that we had as young kids and young adults. Once every 4 years, all the Scouts in America gather, with some from around the world as well, at our National Scout Jamboree. We currently have a permanent Scout high adventure site in West Virginia at the summit. And Eagle Scout Pete Sessions and myself, as well as others 4 years ago, went to the summit. And you know what? We just had fun. We went down the zip line. We went on some of the other obstacle courses. Even as adults, it was reliving our youth. And we intend to go back later in July for every 4 years. As I said, they have the National Scout Jamboree. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000 scouts from around the United States will gather for approximately 1 week and just have a lot of fun. Get to meet others from around the country. So that's what scouting is. I think it's, I can't think of a more healthy activity for young men to be involved in. And I think in cases, certainly the moms of this world understand the important values that their sons are getting, as well as the dads. And I can just tell you, I'm happy to stay involved in scouting. As the co-chair of the Eagle Scout Caucus, I'm proud to remind people I am today an Eagle Scout. And we also have fun shaking hands with our left hand. That's how Scouts do it, the hand closest to our heart. I was with our Secretary of State in Alaska a week ago and went to introduce myself, and you know, he put out his right hand to shake hands, as adults do, and I said, "No, sir, Mr. Secretary, as one Eagle Scout to another, we're going to shake hands the right way with our left hands." He got a big smile on his face because he knew exactly what I was talking about. So Eagle Scout Pete Sessions, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about scouting today in our Congress. Thank you for your leadership in our special order tonight, and look forward to hearing from our other members of Congress, fellow Eagle Scouts. I know it impacted their life, and thank you again for your leadership.